Well, hello guys. This is Katie with Vintage and Vinyl, back with another great video for you today. And tonight I have a very special guest on, Tina from A Vision and Vintage Co. And she has just some amazing collections and a wonderful YouTube channel. So I'm so glad Tina's on. So I'm going to let Tina introduce herself and tell a little bit about her channel.
My channel is A Vision and Vintage Co. Basically, I got the same name across the board with my Etsy shop and my channel. I call it uncommon. I specialize in uncommon vintage and antiques, and it's basically just an out of the norm, not the usual, a little kind of on the strange or weird side. Anything kind of whimsical. That's what I like collecting, and also that's what I like to sell too. My channel is basically thrifting for the uncommon vintage and antiques. I do some videos just for fun, like I'll do shopping for Halloween decor, or I've done like these spooky stories, you know, like sleep video kind of thing, or I'll go to a weird oddity shop or something like that, and do a video there and have it on my channel. So, but it's mainly thrifting. So
That is so cool. And I have to say, I watched Tina's Curiosities cabinet video that she did, and it was amazing. I mean, the things in your cabinet just had so many cool things inside, and I was drooling the whole time going, wow, where did Tina find that? Because we don't find that kind of thing here. Although in the video that I will drop next week with Fatbird Finds, we went shopping. There's an antique mall here that has a little bit of oddities and curiosities and uncommon vintage. And they had some French dental slides, which I thought were pretty cool.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll showcase that. We'll say hello to a couple of people coming into the chat before we get started. I see Angela is joining us. She has changed her name to Dear Angela's Vintage, but she is Angela Marksberry. We got Cindy, Mimi's Treasure Cottage, popping in. Hello, Cindy. And Pamela Blanchard is joining us tonight. Hello, Pamela. And Carrie, no, you did not miss this. You are perfectly on time. Karen Radford is here. Hello, Karen. And Barbie. And Sharon, thanks so much, guys, for coming back. Got Thrift Kitten, 1989. Welcome, welcome. Gina Marie and Katie. The other Katie is here. I recently discovered we've got a new Katie in the chat, so that's very exciting. And we've got Gina Marie. Let's see who else has popped in. Mel is watching all the way from Finland, so I think that's pretty cool. So welcome, Mel. And we got a Canadian in the house, Tia Fane. Welcome, Tia Fane. And Vintage Vibe. Thank you. Vintage Vibe is a big Tina fan from Oregon. Fantastic. And Helen Casey is here. Welcome, Helen. And Kim Z. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for popping in the chat tonight. Now, if you do have questions during the course of the show and tell, you can drop them in the chat and I'll highlight them on the screen for Tina. But the first thing I'm curious to find out is why you got started collecting oddities and unique vintage. What got you into that?
Because it's so interesting. It's so interesting and unusual, and I don't know. I like to get a reaction out of people. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I guess I don't know any other reason to explain it. I really enjoy weird things. I mean, I guess even when I was a teenager, gifts I would get from my parents, like, a birthday or Christmas or something. I was asking at that point in time, I was collecting Egyptian. And I really wanted this 6-foot remake of King Tut's sarcophagus.
Oh, wow.
And so I guess I've been weird for quite a long time. But yeah, I don't know. I just like it.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's pretty cool because most people don't have these kinds of things in their houses. So I bet when guests come over, they're just totally gobsmacked by all the fun things that you have to look at. And they probably
They
wonder, where do you
they start to walk in. They start to walk in, and then they kind of stop dead in their tracks, and then kind of start doing the head turns around, looking around, and then are like, "What is that? What is that? Is that what I think it is?" I'm like, "Yes." So
I just think that that is really neat. I mean, these are things that you just don't see every day. So when I do see them, I always think of you, Tina. And I was going through my brooch collection before the show because I wanted something that captured you. And I try to match my brooch to my guests, but I could not find anything. And I thought, man, I don't have anything odd enough. So I need to look for a really unique brooch that's not something. So I just settled on this clear one that matched the show. I'm a little bit more boring.
you get a bug or a skeleton or something.
I do. I need something to represent Tina.
Yep.
Well, I'm curious, where do you find most of these oddities that you pick up?
Well, what's funny is a lot of people that consider some of the stuff that I have as oddities, I found on eBay. I search a bunch of different terms like weird, strange, or, if I'm looking for a specific type of doll, I'll put in big-eyed or side-eyed or crackly or crunchy or crispy doll. You know what I mean? Anything to narrow it down to what I'm looking for. But yeah, I mean, if you search enough and spend enough time doing it, you'll find what you're looking for. And especially too, I went to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Indianapolis, and they had just my mind was blown with the amount of stuff that they had. And if you Google and do like a local search of an oddities shop or something like that, I guarantee you'll probably find one, within an hour or so radius of your home if you look.
I never thought about looking for a store like that, but that's going to be something next that I'm going to add to my to-do list because I think it would be so cool to visit one of those and have an expo. That would just be pure heaven for me.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Now, Pamela's bringing up a great point here. She says, I think oddities and curiosities genre is very interesting and educational for past medical history, religious beliefs, etc. How do you feel about that, Tina?
Yes, I do. I mean, I totally agree because, I mean, I enjoy the oddities and curiosities, but if you just sit there and think about when you were a child and you went to a natural history museum, that would be if any of those figures or pieces were in someone's home, that would be considered an oddity or curiosity. So I think that kind of is in the same category. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, because they have in these museums, they have preserved specimens, on display, which is basically what people that, procure these collections for their own use. It's basically the same thing. It's just on a much smaller, a much smaller scale, and it's a lot more available, I think, now than it was before. Because I not too long ago got a human specimen, a couple specimens of a vertebrae and a slice of brain sample, but those were retired specimens from a college or university that taught, medical students, and they have people that donate their body to science, and I guess, once it's been utilized so much, It's just like anything. You take out the old and you bring in the new. So they have to do something with it. They can't just, cart it off and throw it in a local dump. So there is a lot. I mean, like old, old full human skeletons and stuff that have been damaged over the years, and they'll cart it out or sell the whole thing or whatever. So yeah.
That is really cool. I never thought about checking the local colleges either. That's a good place to see if they're going to do something with a lot of their departments that have things like that. Now, Gina was asking or saying that she's dying to get to the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. Have you ever heard of that, Tina?
Yes, I have, and it's like a bucket list, a bucket list place I would love to go. Yes, definitely. I've heard of it, and I would love to go. Definitely. If you go on YouTube, you can get, a glimpse of, but it's nothing like actually experiencing it for yourself, of course.
Oh, I'm sure. And what kind of things do they have at the Mutter Museum? What's the premise behind the museum?
People,
Wow.
diseases, abnormalities, things like that.
Wow, that just sounds fascinating. Well, I know we're all dying to see some eye candy. So, Tina, I'm going to turn the camera to you and I'm going to let you show us some of the things in your cabinet of curiosities behind you because I can just see how cool this is going to be. And I know everyone's excited.
Well, what should I do? Do you want me just to kind of go into my cabinet and grab something out, or do you want to actually look in my cabinet and then ask a question, or?
Sure, if you want to find something to show us up close from your cabinet, that would be wonderful. You can pick something out of it, or if you'd rather just take us in there, that would be great too. We're just excited to see all the neat things that you have.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna pick you up and we're gonna turn you. Well, how am I gonna do this? How do I do that? Do I flip you around or do I flip the camera around?
Okay, so on StreamYard, you should be able to go into the settings if you're on your phone and
Uh-huh.
change the camera under camera settings and flip it. So that way we can see.
Okay, I hit camera and I turned myself up.
Let's see, there should be, are you on your phone?
Uh-huh.
There should be a little button like in the cam and mic in the settings down at the
Oh, I
bottom.
see it.
Yeah, and then you go into camera and it should flip it.
No, it's not letting me do it.
It's not
Either
like
that. No, it just says camera and audio, and when I hit on camera, it just shows me myself again.
that's really weird. Okay. I've always been able to do it from my phone. Okay, Tina has moved out of the stream just for a second, so I'll look for her to come back in. I know it's hard when you're trying to do these things, and it's different on iPhone versus Android, but it's really, really cool to have Tina here. So she'll join us back in just a second. And I see lots of questions coming in the chat, so we'll get to those in just a minute. Yes, a tour of the Curiosity Cabinet would be great. I saw her video she did on her channel of that cabinet, and let me tell you guys, it was amazing. I mean, I can't go anywhere without seeing something that reminds me of Tina in this one display case at Fans and Stoves. And so I'm really, really, really excited to put out that Peppered Finds video so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's just a small little booth at this antique mall here, and the lady deals in curiosities, and it is just so, so fun. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you're joining here. And who else is here? Yes, Tina has a great eye for anything different, and she's very creative how she uses everything. Oh, thank you, Thrift Kitten, 1989. I'm glad you are here. Let's see what Maliard has to say. Oh, he's talking to Vintage Vinny. It's so cool that we have folks joining in from around the world. So we have Mel from Finland, and I saw Tia Fane from Canada, and we've got people from all over the U.S., which is really cool. Tina will be back in, I'm sure, in a second. There is just a little bit of technical problems. We were trying to work through some of that too before the show, but we got here and she'll be back very soon. Thank you, Gina Marie. I appreciate that. I'll show the brooch that I'm wearing today. This is a Weiss brooch. It is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous brooch. It is just stunning, and I'm so glad that I have that. Hey, El Unico, Thrifter and Treasures, welcome, welcome. I think you had mentioned your name to me once before, but I don't quite remember. There's so many people that come in and out of the streams. I'm trying to get everybody's name down. Oh, Sharon, that's right. Sharon, you're from Canada too. How could I forget that? I don't know. Anyway, welcome Sharon from Canada and everyone else joining in the chat. And Tina is back. Welcome, Tina.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do because I honestly cannot figure this out. So I'm going to try to flip the camera around and hope. Josh, I'm going to have my son help me because he's, a lot more technical than I am. He says if I hit this button right here, camera mic, that I should be able to flip the camera around. When I hit camera, see, it shows me.
Okay, I'm doing a test broadcast right now just to see how this. There we go.
So we got it?
We got it. We're flipped around, folks. Yay! I agree, Mike. Now, we had a question coming in from Pamela. She was asking what your favorite place is that you visited to date.
I guess the expo is probably my favorite place I visited to date. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so are you ready to take us in, Tina?
Yeah. Here's my dude here. I got him at the Louisville, Kentucky Antique Show when I went and seen George.
Oh, how cool. And is he a I can't think of the word, but for practicing resuscitation?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of those for sale. And I love that you put a top hat on him.
Yeah, he's got some glasses too.
How fun is that?
I was going to try to get him some eyes eventually. And then one of those glass things that they use to water plants that are decorative, but in a pink color to look like he's blowing a bubble, maybe like chewing bubble gum.
That would be so clever.
Yeah, I was going to do something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I've got lots of weird things around here. Well, this is the top area. I really don't know what to focus on.
Look at that doll. That is so interesting. And he's for a ventriloquist?
Yeah, it's Charlie McCarthy.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that? Now, we've got a question coming in from Thrift Kitten. She's asking, what is your major piece that you hope to acquire one day?
There's too many things that I cannot afford. Okay. If you guys were to Google Ryan Matthew Cohn and look at the items that he has in his collection, that is like my dream collection, is what he possesses right now. He has a lot of the antique anatomical models. He has a full wax anatomical model, lots and lots of gorgeous antiques. And they're all weathered and worn, but I think it makes it even more gorgeous when they have that patina. There's my little frog.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now, where did you get the frog from?
They have these places that you can go online that supply schools. You know, you have to dissect a frog or whatever else in the classroom, and you can order things like that way. And they'll just ship the little fella to you in a bag. And basically, it's already been preserved. And you just put them in a 70% isopropyl alcohol, and there you go.
Wow, I never would have thought to go to a place that sold frogs to schools. That Tina's giving us all the inside info here, guys. So if you
Well,
want
I've got a
to
dog in my way. Move, Doogie. Move, buddy.
buddy, we love dogs here.
Okay. I don't know where you want to.
Just start telling us about your favorite pieces here.
Well, there's a cow eye.
The cow eye, wow.
This is like a horseshoe crab. That is a deep sea isopod. It is kind of creepy, but it's like a deep sea version of a roly poly. That's what it reminds me of.
He does.
This guy right here, I don't know how well you're seeing him. His name is Peep. It's just a little bird. We have an Atlas moth.
Oh, those moths are beautiful.
Yeah, well, I kind of put Edgar Allan Poe in the middle there, so he's got wings, I guess. That's a cat skull, and there it's an Oddfellows pin that I kind of used for the eye.
We have amazing.
Starfish. I have wet and wet specimens and dry. This is just like a nest, a wasp nest, except on a much broader scale there. Well, you guys might think this is kind of cute.
Oh, I love them.
It's an old portrait, an antique portrait. And somebody has taxidermied, a mouse's head and placed it there, and kind of looks like, a little mouse in a dress.
That is just adorable and really, really cool. Now, where do you get your jars from for your specimens? Are they vintage, I'm sure?
I find some, when I go and when I thrift and stuff at antique stores or vintage, I don't find a lot, I should say, at like yard sales or like, what's the name of that place? Goodwill. Mainly I find stuff at like antique stores or like the flea markets or antique malls or the shows. I find a lot, but I do get some new, like at places like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something. I don't generally like the color of them, so a lot of times I'll sand them down and repaint them or stain them to match my decor.
Oh, that's perfect.
Gosh, I don't know what else to show you guys. There's a lot.
Now, I'm interested in that little doll that you have in the front. It looks like she's pregnant.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've looked for one of these, and I found this at a flea market, and I was so excited when I found her because I wanted one. And somebody took her baby.
Oh, no.
Her baby's gone. So, unfortunately, but if I find another one that has the baby still there, then I'll sell this one. But for right now, she's staying with me.
And what model would have that been used for? Like in a gynecology office or?
Yep. Yeah. There's the vertebrae. I don't know how well you're seeing it. This is the brain. This is the brain specimen right here.
Oh my goodness, that is cool.
But you can see, all the detail and stuff. It's just a little tiny slice. Yeah, see, there's the vertebrae. This I found at a flea market too, and this is I don't know how well that's coming off to you.
I think Tina just froze for a second. Tina, are you there? I think Tina is frozen, folks. Let's see if Tina can unfreeze for a minute. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll get through it. I think a human brain, Dana, she said, a little slice of human brain. That is amazing. I mean, I am fascinated with all the things, and she's got them so artfully displayed. Tina just has some really cool things in her little cabinet. Doesn't it make you guys want to start a cabinet of curiosities? You know, I think that's cool. And Venny, who's in the chat, has junk jars. So you could do like a junk jar of curiosities. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be really cool. Yes, it does look like one of those old acupuncture models, doesn't it, Tia Fane? It really, really does. I'm just amazed that Tina finds these things because, like I said, I mentioned the one slot at the antique mall. But again, I don't have a lot of flea markets in places here. But I think it would be very cool to go look for some of these things. One of the things that Tina has is some medical stuff like Angela's talking about. And she really does have some cool things. I have a brain jello mold. You do, Gina. Wow, that's cool. Okay, Tina is back. Yay!
Yeah. For some reason, I lost like my signal, my internet signal. I live out in the country, so.
That
But
is just
anyway,
fine.
this is the card that they would have filled out, and it would have been placed on the the wooden coffin. So that's really old.
Now, how often do you find ephemera related to funeral homes and embalming and that kind of thing?
Funeral home ephemera is pretty widespread. You can find that, but something of that nature, that old, I've never. That was the first time I've ever run across anything like that, and that was because I actually called around and found a funeral home that basically the father that had originally started this funeral home never threw anything away. And it was one of those situations where they were really nice to me and they were cool with me coming and videotaping and picking and everything. So I literally got to purchase stuff from them, that was over 100 years old. That was in, mortician stuff. And I mean, they had like wicker coffins and the old gravity fed embalming machines. I mean, it was amazing seeing the stuff that they had.
Oh my gosh. You must have been in heaven looking through all of that.
Yeah. I mean, it was very, very interesting. I mean, there was stuff that they showed me that, I had seen for the first time. So
Now, Dana says that she is totally amazed by your items, but she's not sure she'd be able to sleep in your house.
oh, it's fine. There's nothing that goes bump in the night.
I don't appreciate those dolls.
Yeah, my son just told me, he said it isn't like my dolls, but whatever.
Now, that little jar in front of you, tell us about that.
This guy right here?
Yes.
It's lavender smelling salts from a funeral home. It's like got that Art Deco look to it.
Yeah, the Art Deco on that is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's from a funeral home.
Now, can you tell us what people would have done with lavender smelling salts for all of us that don't know?
Well, somebody's overcome with grief, possibly at a funeral and faints, and they would use the strong smelling, liquid, put it underneath their nose or whatever to revive them.
Oh, wow. Very cool. And then in the back, I see you've got something with a little froggy on it.
Right here. Yeah, it's an old advertising piece. It was for, cough medicine or cough drops or something of that nature. It's a paperweight. You know how they used to do these promotional things where they would give items away. And this is one of those type of items. It says something about a frog in your throat.
I think that's clever. Now, I love advertising, so I'm drooling over that piece, Tina. I think that is just so unique.
It is. It's different. That's what I always try to look for. Let's see. He's a different kind of guy right there. That postcard. It's one of those ones that actually squeaks, but I think the squeaker on this one maybe. No, it's still squeaking.
I did not know they made squeaker postcards until you're just showing this one. I'm learning so much.
Yeah. See, it's a postcard. It's an antique postcard. And why it needs to squeak, I have no idea. But of course, the thing that drew me to it was the images on it. I just love it because I'm really drawn to that old look with the top hat and cane and the bow tie and that. So yeah, they have if you look, you can find those squeaky postcards. They're not real common, of course, but yeah, they have some with the googly eyes too. Those are fun.
And how much for those postcards do you typically see them selling for?
You can buy them probably anywhere from $20,
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. And it just depends. I mean, some people, of course, try to gouge you, but, you just have to, look. If you want something bad enough, you'll search and search until it's at your price point. You may have to wait sometimes, but in that instance, with something that you've never seen before, generally the best time to buy it is when you do see it, because the always the gist of it, what happens is you pass it, you don't get it because you think you may run across it again at a better price, and then you lose it. So I don't know.
That's true, Tina. I have found that with advertising. There's just some advertising pieces that if you don't pick up, you're not going to see them again.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's your area of things that you're interested in, you're most educated in, then you're going to know from just the research that you've done what is going to be more common than not. And then you'll be able to gauge, well, is this something I should pounce on right now, or is this something I can wait on till later?
That's a very good tip. Now, I'm curious about the jars that you have in the back because I think those are so neat looking.
Yes, those are old, original labels. There's a lot of people out there that they take old apothecary jars, medicine jars, bottles, and they will take reproduction labels or possibly new old stock labels, and they'll put them on the old bottle. And you have to pay attention to the wording. So there are situations where it's kind of tricky. So you just have to really read the description and ask questions if they don't answer, in the description what you're looking for.
That's a good tip because I have seen that as well with some of the advertising I collect. There's definitely a big influx of people making or remaking the Morton Salt Girl. And everyone loves her because she's so iconic. But believe it or not, there's so many reproductions that came out, in the 90s to 2000s that aren't even vintage. And people are listing them as the antique ones. So you can really pay attention to how the girl is on the front to see the differences. We have a lot of love for your bulldogs in the front with the rhinestone eyes. So can you tell us about those?
Those are just salt and pepper shakers that I found. And I instantly fell in love when I seen them, and they weren't actually that expensive. I just love the fact that they're going to the opera,
I love
and
the
he's
monocle.
yeah, uh-huh. And so I grabbed them, and I've actually tried to find some since, that were possibly in better condition than these two. But apparently, these guys with the eyes, that have these little rhinestones in them, are not that easy to come by, and they have, different types. I don't know. They don't have any marking as far as the maker goes, and I cannot remember off the top of my head. But if you were to put in, key search words, you could probably come up with something like that. But they have different types. But these guys were they were too much for me. I couldn't, I couldn't not get them. They were just perfect for me.
I
As you
love
can tell, I
monocle.
collect everything that's got, little top hats, the guys that are all dressed to the nines. That's kind of my thing.
I need a top hat.
Yeah,
And
believe it or not, I found that top hat that I showed you that was on the CPR dummy. I got that at a flea market for $30, and it's a beaver.
wow,
Yeah, that's an excellent price.
a fantastic price. It sure is. And I'm also noticing that old Croak jar in the back. That is really unique.
Yeah. It was just it's a play on, kind of a gag, kind of goofy. This one's sealed. It's never actually been opened, but it's like I guess it was like a whiskey or a bourbon or something like that. And the liquid in here is not actually a liqueur, but it's a play on that. It's kind of like a gag thing.
So,
But
and
see how it says Kentucky Straight Embalming Fluid? See that?
I do. That
Yeah.
actually has embalming fluid in it then.
No, it's not. It's just like I said. It's just something like I don't know, a novelty kind of thing.
Oh,
But
God.
it's still worth a decent amount of money.
Oh, I'm sure. And it still has the tax stamp on the side.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I got a few things from this guy that I befriended. Yeah, that's an ostrich egg. I just seen that. It's actually not an ostrich egg. I'm sorry. It's an emu egg right here. That's an emu egg.
That is a big egg.
Yeah. But no, if you befriend people, this older gentleman, he was trying to whittle down his collection, and he was closing his booth that he had in the antique mall. And because I would come regularly and I would always go to his booth and I would always buy something from him and I would always spend time with him and just chit chat with him, when he did tear down his booth and was packing things away, he was literally giving me awesome prices. And then he gave me things. So you just never know. And one of the things I got from him was this.
That is incredible. And it does pay to have relationships with people because I've gotten to know the woman that owns the brooch booth at Fans and Stoves. And so she's always very kind and gives me great deals.
Yeah, and they just appreciate somebody that appreciates their things and what they like too.
Yes, exactly. Now tell us a little bit about those glasses.
Which ones? Oh, these. Oh,
Yeah.
they're just old, funny. It would have been something like Halloween glasses. It's got little slits right there, the eyeballs that you would have worn, on your face. I just thought they were hilarious. So of course I had to get them because of that.
That's fun. And
But
we were,
this is a salesman sample of all of these cards that people buy all the time and collect.
oh,
Um,
those are amazing.
and I'm trying to, but yeah, I guess the salesman would have went to the different stores that would have possibly carried these maybe and shown them, what they could purchase what was offered. And I just love these. And it's completely intact. None of them have been removed. So I was ecstatic to find this. But
The
it
thing
should.
that amazes me with that is that it has survived. And look at the lettering in that.
Yeah, it shows you all the different lettering types that it has on here. And it's just an awesome piece that, survived. Amazing, like you said, that it actually did survive and wasn't, I always hate that when I find a great book or something like that, and then it looks like a child decided to draw
Scribble. Yeah.
draw in it or something like that.
Thrift Kitten says that you have, she's got dibs on that if you ever part with it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her with her stuff. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's right up her alley. Yes, you will be first on the list if I do part with it. I will definitely go to you.
Now, this is the clown shelf.
Yes.
And is that a noisemaker that you have?
Yeah, this guy right here. Yeah, that's a noisemaker. And well, he's not showing up very well because this is like my darkest shelf. It's all the way on the bottom. He's one too.
Oh man, he's fun. And these were produced for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that clown one might have given kids some nightmares, though.
Probably. Probably.
Hey, Nate and Dave just coming in, and Kitschy Cat, welcome. Now, we had talked a little bit about embalming fluid, and I was wondering if you actually had any bottles. I know you did at one point.
Yeah, I do. I do actually. It's in a different area though, because I ran out of room. I got this guy back there in the corner, and he's pretty big, so I had to I had to expand on my clown area and take my embalming fluid and move it to a different area. So let me get up. I'm sitting on the floor Indian style here right now with my legs crossed.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but thank you.
I'm getting old. Okay. Let's walk over this way here. See if I can get some lighting.
Look at the guy in the top hat. Oh man, he is fabulous.
Oh yeah, him. That's a big card, believe it or not. And the back of it moves, so his eyes move and his mouth moves.
Wow. And how old do you think he is?
I don't know, maybe from the 30s or 40s, possibly.
That's just incredible.
Something like that. Okay, we're going over this way. I had to put them in the bottom of my clock. I didn't have any place else to put them.
What a great use of the bottom of a grandfather clock. That's hard to say.
I've gotten a little picky about my collection now. When it comes to the embalming fluid stuff, it has to have the fluid still intact, never used. So all of the stuff that they have now that the embalmers use, of course, everything's plastic nowadays. So,
oh my gosh, look at the graphics on that.
mm-hmm.
Now, the side of that I'm really interested in because I think that I might have a very similar bottle. It says the Champion Company, and then what's
Yes.
on the bottom?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to. It says Ohio, Champion, Springfield, Ohio. and I cannot read that bottom part.
I'll show you after the show, Tina, but I think I have that exact same bottle minus the label.
Yeah, and if you see anything like Champion or Dodge or anything, it's definitely going to be something associated with, embalming fluid. Trying to see if there's another one. This is a nice one right here.
Oh, wow. That is just incredible.
Yeah, and see, it's got Dodge on the side of it.
Now I see it's got little liter numbers on the side. Is there a use for that when they were doing the embalming?
Yes. I don't really know if this was something that they mixed or that they used straight. I don't know. I know one of the bottles I had directions on it, but I didn't actually sit down and read. I do have a few pieces that are actually like the pigments that they used to use when they would, after they got done with embalming, when they were preparing for, viewing to make the person look not dead,
Okay.
This one, I think this is the one that I kept. See, this one says Surface Restorer, and that's also the Dodge Chemical Company. This one I thought was funny because of the fact of what the color is called. It's called, what is it called? Oh, Light Flesh.
That's such a fitting name for the stuff that's going on, the people who have passed on.
Exactly. And then this is just, this would have been used to actually put the fluid in. So
that is really, really interesting.
Anyways, that's my embalming fluid.
That is such a cool collection of things. I mean, and what a great way to use that grandfather clock. I never thought about storing something in the bottom. And then we had gotten a request from someone to see your circus posters.
Oh, the ones I just got. Yeah, I just got those actually. I can, this guy, I didn't get to show you him. That's an old ring toss game. And those are really, really hard to find.
Man.
But my clown posters, now I got the dog over here. Doogie, move, buddy.
I still can't believe you found that top hat. That is just amazing.
You can get them for like $80 or more, depending. But to get one for $30 was just like it was, one of those gasping moments.
I bet you can grab it and pay the guy fast enough.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. There they are.
Wow. Now, do you plan on having those framed at some point?
I've got this one listed in the shop for sale. And I haven't gotten to listing this one yet.
That is really cool. So, guys, if you want these posters, you can actually go to Tina's eBay. Is that right? And purchase these?
It's Etsy.
Etsy. I'm sorry, Etsy. Yes. So I will be sure to link Tina's Etsy in the description box. I have linked her channel, but that is just so cool.
Yeah, this was another situation where I gasped because I've always seen these listed, but I've never actually found them in the wild. So when I seen them in the wild, especially these types of clowns, it was exciting because, this is the older posters. The ones that were more modern, of course, were more like Bozo the Clown or something like that. But these guys, are harder to find.
That is amazing. And those are in really, really good shape for their age. I can just see.
Yeah, this one does have a few condition issues. The tape on the corners, and it looks like it may have some mildew or something from where it was stored. But other than that, it's in pretty solid condition. I mean, the most important parts in good shape.
And yes, yeah, the image is fantastic. Now, I'm curious also about your sign that you have there. Did you have that made, or is this something that you found?
Oh, this finger?
Yes, the finger.
Oh, I found it. I found it at an antique store. I had to do a finger repair, and it was really faded, so I kind of darkened up the lettering, that was left, that was visible, so you could still see it, or so you could see it again, but still left it all kind of chipped and scuffed because I like it that way.
Yes, I like things that have age and character and history to it. It saddens me a little bit when people would find something like that and then just paint it white.
Yeah, I get really angry when I see stuff like that, and I get really upset, especially with antique furniture. I can understand if there's an antique piece of furniture that the veneer is coming off or it's just in really horrible shape and you want to sand it down and paint it. That I get. But when you get a piece that's, 100 plus years old that is in good condition, besides the fact that it may have a few nicks or scratches, and you're going to do your chalk paint on it, I would just love to get my hands around your neck and just let you know how displeased I am, because that to me is just as bad as somebody spray painting the side of a bridge or something. It's awful.
I always die a little bit inside because, like I said, I don't have an issue. You mentioned this too, with people refinishing it. But for me, I would want people to refinish the piece, back to its former glory. But no offense to anyone that likes that style. Because I love woodwork and I love history, and I think saving those pieces is amazing. It's hard when people just cover up all that beauty. And I see Mel, he's asking, do you sell abroad? Because Mel's in Finland, so he might be really interested in purchasing something from you.
Oh, I've limited it to just the United States. I don't sell outside of the United States. I honestly don't know whether it would be worth buying anything. Things are so expensive. I mean, just to ship to Canada, it's ridiculous. You have to pay just as much in shipping, sometimes more than the actual item's value these days.
That makes a lot of sense.
But, if somebody wants something that bad and they're willing to pay it, I wouldn't mind, and, I guess researching it or something and finding out how much it would cost them. But yeah. Okay, I need to figure out how to flip this camera back around again, and I can't.
I was just going to say we've got time for just one last little thing. So is there one ending piece that you want to show, Tina, that you think is really cool?
Lord. Oh, okay. Well, here, we'll just show you him. There you go.
Oh, look at that. How cool. Now, where did you find this guy?
Design Tuscano. And I think you can actually still buy these. But he's 6 foot tall, and he holds all of my movies.
That is cool. So he opens up. Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've got stuff over here, but we'll see if I can. Yeah. See my movies in there?
Oh my gosh. What a cool piece. That is really unique. That is fantastic.
there's movies on this part, and then there's movies over here, and it's got, you know, the shelves going all the way down. And I told my husband he just needs to take the shelving out and throw me in there when I die, and then here's my coffin. There you go.
That's actually quite perfect for you, Tina.
Yeah. So this was something that I wanted for years, and when I finally got it, it was one of those, you know, I just wanted to stare at it.
I know
And
the feeling.
yeah, just stare at it and lovingly look at it, and, you know, kind of creep back in the room and look around the corner like, oh yeah, you're still there.
I know
Kind of thing.
when I get something new, it sounds strange, but I'm glad that Tina has the same feeling. She wants to sit by it, and I do too. I like to sit by it and look at it. And I'm like, ooh, I can't believe I have that in my house.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to try to flip around, or?
Let's see if you can flip around, Tina. I just so appreciate you showing your things. I mean, this was just such a cool thing. And Thrift Kitten's got a great question to wrap up on. She's asking, what's your favorite piece in your collection?
Probably my King Tut.
Yeah, he is really cool. You got it, Tina. Your back flipped around.
Okay, I'm good.
You're good.
Okay. I am such an idiot when it comes to this kind of stuff. I just can't. I'm here.
Well, it is hard. StreamYard, so the first time I went live through StreamYard at an antique store and I was trying to flip the camera around, it did take me a minute to figure out where that button was. And I almost thought it wasn't possible, but it is. So it does take time to get used to. But it was wonderful having you on, Tina. You are fascinating. You have some great collections. And I've linked Tina down below, so definitely go subscribe to her. Tina, what do you have coming next on your channel?
Yard sale, a yard sale haul. I found a yard sale where the older couple were downsizing and moving to an apartment, and so they had a lot of items that they were getting rid of from their house, and I scored a bunch of Halloween items, so that's my next video.
Oh, how fun. That is going to be amazing. The Eco Relics place here, when they get the collection, I'll be really excited. And Tina, I'll have to show you and see if there's anything you want. But there's a collection from a local couple that they are antique dealers, and mainly the lady collected advertising, and they're only about halfway done with her house here. There's also a house in South Carolina, and I've shown some of this on my channel, but the amount of advertising this lady had is amazing, and every room had a different theme. Well, when I was in there last time, the lady that owns this store told me that she collected 1940s Halloween, and they're like all of her collection, and it is like apparently like 3 display cases full of vintage, and antique Halloween. So I about died. I heard that.
Be in heaven.
Yeah, you would love that. So I gotta send that to you when it comes in. And lots of people love the show. They thought that your collections are amazing, and they were very cool. So thank you so much, Tina, for joining. I will see you all next week for another video coming out on my channel. And of course, stay tuned for Friday for something fun. I think I'm going to go live and share some vinyl that Angela Marksberry sent me. And of course, before my next video, we both will be seeing you on Instagram at vintage_and_vinyl, and at A Vision and Vintage Co. on IG. And I hope, as always, you guys will stay in, stay safe, and bench YouTube. Bye-bye now.
Bye.